Every day we drink different beverages, but have you ever thought that some of them can actually be harmful, while others can help your body recover? In this video, I've ranked drinks based on how healthy they are and divided them into 5 groups. The higher the drink is on the list, the healthier it is. The lower it is, the more harmful it can be. We'll look at both the good and the bad sides from different angles. There's a lot of useful, interesting, and sometimes surprising information ahead, so make sure to watch this video until the end. Let's get started. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you won't miss any new videos. Let's begin with green tea. One of its main benefits is that it contains catechins, which help lower the risk of heart disease. Green tea also helps you feel more awake because of its caffeine. In fact, it has about 1.5 times more caffeine than black tea. Yes, green tea is almost as strong as coffee when it comes to caffeine. It also has L-theanine, and when combined with caffeine, this can boost brain function, improve alertness, and support both physical and mental performance. It even helps lift your mood. Green tea can slightly speed up your metabolism too. The effect is small, but it's real, and it might help a little with fat burning. Some studies also suggest that people who regularly drink green tea may have a lower risk of certain types of cancer. But there are a few downsides. Caffeine isn't good for everyone. For example, people with heart conditions might need to avoid it. Also, in some people, caffeine can cause serious sleep problems. Another point is that drinking too much green tea may reduce how well your body absorbs iron from food. But overall, if we look at both the pros and cons, green tea gets the top rating. It's a great drink. As long as you don't overdo it, the benefits far outweigh the risks. Let's move on. The next drink is Compote, a drink made from fruit. It does have some benefits. If real fruits or berries are used, then some vitamins, minerals, and helpful nutrients get into the drink. But that's pretty much where the benefits end. Very often, compote is made with added sugar, and when it's too sweet, it's no longer that healthy. So, considering both the pros and cons, I'd give it an average rating. It's generally okay. Not great, but acceptable. Next up, sweet soda. Are there any good sides to sugary sodas? Well, let's think. Maybe they help quench your thirst? Although, honestly, after drinking sweet soda, you often feel even thirstier. And if it contains caffeine, which has a diuretic effect, then you might lose more water than you take in. That's pretty much it for the benefits. Now for the downsides. Sodas contain a lot of sugar, and sugar in liquid form is especially harmful. It causes a rapid spike in blood sugar. Sodas also often contain phosphoric acid, which messes with how the body handles calcium. It can also harm the kidneys. The high acidity, which is hidden by the sweet taste, damages tooth enamel too. All in all, soda gets the lowest rating. It's best to avoid it completely. The next drink is water. Yes, plain water. This one's simple. Water is essential for our bodies. It helps regulate body temperature, keeps tissues hydrated, since we're about 70% water, and supports detox. Almost always, when someone is sick or has been poisoned, doctors say, drink more water. Why? Because water is a universal solvent. If you pour water into a glass and drop something in, over time it starts to dissolve. Unless it's something like metal. The same happens with toxins in our bodies. We drink more water, and harmful substances are removed more effectively. But there are a few details to keep in mind. Some people drink boiled water. That's not ideal. Boiling changes the electrolyte balance, and if someone drinks distilled water, pure water without any minerals, that can cause problems. This kind of water can pull electrolytes and minerals from the body, which are then flushed out in urine. As a result, we lose helpful nutrients. So it's better to drink filtered tap water, not distilled. In general, water gets the highest score. It's a great choice. Moving on, the next drink is coffee. Coffee is a pretty controversial drink. Some studies show its benefits, while others point out the risks. Some people drink coffee and feel great, while for others, it's not recommended. Let's start with the positives. Coffee definitely boosts physical and mental energy, thanks to caffeine. Some studies show that regular, moderate coffee drinking may lower the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. There's also research suggesting that coffee supports liver health and helps reduce chronic inflammation. But there are some concerns too. Some studies link coffee to a higher risk of osteoporosis. It may pull calcium from the bones. As for blood pressure, it depends on the person. For many, coffee doesn't raise blood pressure at all. For others, it might go up, but usually only for about 30 minutes. The same with heart rate. It increases in some people, but not in others. The same goes for anxiety and sleep. For some people, coffee increases anxiety and makes sleep worse. For others, it has the opposite effect. Interestingly, about 5% of people react to coffee in an unusual way. For them, it acts as a sedative. Yes, roughly 1 in 20 people feel sleepy after drinking coffee. It's not just a weird feeling. It's a real brain response to caffeine. Some people just have this unique reaction. When it comes to cancer, the research is unclear. There are dozens, maybe even hundreds, of studies, and they often contradict each other. Some say coffee might raise the risk of cancer. Others believe it helps protect against it. And of course, we shouldn't forget about addiction. If you're used to drinking 5 cups a day and suddenly go without, for example, on a trip to the mountains with no coffee, you might feel really bad. So overall, it's hard to give a simple answer. That's why I give coffee an average rating. In general, it's okay. Pay attention to how your body reacts and go with what feels right for you. As for me, I drink 1 cup a day, only in the morning, so it doesn't affect my sleep at night. Moving on, the next drink is green smoothies. That means blending leafy vegetables, or other kinds of vegetables and sometimes fruit, into a healthy drink. Of course, how healthy the smoothie is depends on what ingredients you use. Different vegetables contain different vitamins and minerals, but overall, the idea is great. Still, there's one important thing to keep in mind. When do you think digestion starts? When does food reach the stomach? Or maybe in the intestines? Actually, it starts in the mouth. As soon as we begin chewing, our body releases enzymes that start breaking down the food. So digestion starts right when we chew. Why is this important? Well, if you take greens and chew them, that's one process. But if you blend everything into a smoothie and just drink it, that's a different way of eating. Studies have shown that when we chew vegetables well, our bodies absorb the nutrients better compared to just drinking them blended. But there's another side to it. If we're making smoothies, we can simply use more greens. So even if digestion is a bit less effective, the larger amount of vegetables makes up for it. In practice, this works. We get about the same benefit because we're using more veggies. So, to sum up, as long as you don't add sugar, I give green smoothies the highest rating. They're a very healthy drink. Moving on, the next drink is low-alcohol beverages. Usually this means beer or wine. Do they have many benefits? Actually, not really. One possible benefit is that a small amount can help some people relax mentally. For example, a glass of wine, not in excess, just a little, can feel like a kind of mini therapy. Many people say it really helps them unwind. We can also find one more small benefit in beer. Yes, beer, surprisingly, has a few upsides. It contains electrolytes. In fact, there's a habit among some long-distance runners and marathoners. After a hard run, they sometimes drink a little beer. It might look strange, like someone just ran a marathon and then drinks beer. But it's actually a thing. Not everyone does it, but it's an old habit for some. And it's not as crazy as it seems. The reason is that beer contains electrolytes, which can help restore the balance in the body after heavy physical effort. But that's about where the benefits stop, and the downsides of alcohol begin. Modern research shows there's no completely safe amount of alcohol. In the past, people used to say that women could drink up to 20 grams, or about 0.7 ounces, of pure alcohol per day, and men up to 30 grams, or about 1 ounce. But today, more and more experts agree it's better not to drink at all, if possible. Still, considering both the pros and cons, I'd rate low-alcohol drinks as okay sometimes. The key words here are sometimes and a little. In that case, it's unlikely to cause serious harm. Let's move on. The next item is Kefir. It's a great product, mainly because of its positive effects on the intestines. Kefir is a fermented drink that contains special bacteria. These bacteria help improve gut microflora. And the condition of the gut is directly linked not just to digestion, but also to the nervous system, cardiovascular system, immunity, and more. The gut is like a second brain. It affects almost every process in the body. It's a very important organ. So, if your gut is healthy, it creates a strong foundation for overall health. But to be objective, we should also mention some downsides. What are the disadvantages of kefir? First, kefir contains a small amount of alcohol. It's not a big deal, but it's still something to be aware of. Second, kefir is quite acidic. And for some people, foods with high acidity may not be a good fit. This is worth keeping in mind. But maybe the biggest issue is that we often buy kefir from supermarkets, and it may not be as healthy. First, some store-bought kefir has added sugar, and that's no good. Second, it might contain very few beneficial bacteria. So it's much better to choose high-quality kefir. Or even make it at home. Just buy a starter culture and prepare kefir yourself. It's very easy to do. Overall, kefir gets top marks. It's a very healthy food. Moving on, the next drink is carbonated mineral water. I wanted to highlight it as a separate item because it's not just regular water. Carbonated mineral water comes in many varieties, depending on its mineral content. Some types are even sold in pharmacies and prescribed by doctors to restore certain minerals or improve digestion. In general, mineral water has both pros and cons. For example, the gas in mineral water can actually be helpful if you're trying to lose weight. Yes, really. There's a useful trick. It can reduce hunger a bit. If you're on a diet and constantly feel like eating, drinking some sparkling mineral water can make your stomach feel full and help you forget about hunger for a while. It really works. But if you play sports, I think most people who've tried it would agree. Drinking carbonated water before or during a workout is very uncomfortable. It causes bloating and discomfort, and your workout will suffer. As for the minerals, sometimes they're helpful. They can replace what your body needs. But in other cases, they can build up and cause too much of certain elements. Overall, I give carbonated mineral water a rating of good. Moving on. The next item is strong alcohol, and here, everything is pretty clear. There's not much to say. It's best to avoid it. There are countless books and movies about the harm of alcohol. With low-alcohol drinks, you might find rare exceptions or special cases. But with strong alcohol, there are almost no excuses. So it's better to stay away. Let's move on. The next item is hibiscus tea. It's a good drink, although technically, it's not really tea. It doesn't contain tea leaves. It's a different plant, but people call it tea. Hibiscus helps lower blood pressure. It's rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, supports the immune system, and reduces inflammation in the body. But if you already have low blood pressure, hibiscus can make it even lower, which is not good. Also, if you have gastritis, high stomach acidity, or frequent heartburn, hibiscus may cause discomfort. In that sense, it's quite a strong drink in terms of how it affects the body. Overall, I give hibiscus tea a rating of good. Moving on. The next product is Kvass. Yes, Kvass does contain certain types of probiotics that can support digestion. It also has B vitamins. But on the other hand, Kvass is usually made with added sugar, especially store-bought Kvass from supermarkets. And any drinks with added sugar are no longer healthy. Also, Kvass contains a small amount of alcohol. With Kefir, I said it's not a big deal. We usually drink just a glass. But Kvass is different. People often drink a lot of it, even liters. In that case, the amount of alcohol becomes more noticeable. Overall, I give Kvass a rating of acceptable. Moving on. Black tea is probably the most popular drink after water. First, we should clarify whether we're talking about tea with or without sugar. If it's tea with sugar, it's best to avoid it. But let's leave sugar aside and talk about plain black tea. Black tea contains antioxidants that help protect your cells from damage. It also has some caffeine, about half as much as coffee. So, it does have a slight stimulating effect. As for the downsides, compared to green tea, black tea has fewer useful micronutrients. So overall, even if you drink it without sugar, I would give black tea a rating of acceptable. Moving on. The next item is fruit juices. I decided to group them together because if we looked at each fruit separately, we could make a whole video about it. First of all, it's important to know where the juice comes from. If we're talking about packaged fruit juices, then in most cases, more than 90%, it's an unhealthy product. It is better to avoid them. Almost all popular supermarket juices are like that. They're better to stay away from. They usually contain a lot of sugar, preservatives, and very little real fruit. Sometimes none at all. For example, some orange juices have added shredded cabbage to create the illusion of fruit pulp. But if we're talking about real, freshly squeezed juice, then yes, the micronutrient content is much better. there are no additives or preservatives. Still, even fresh juice is less healthy than eating whole fruit. Why? Because when we eat the whole fruit, we get the fiber. But with juice, we're basically getting a quick shot of sugar. And that's not ideal for the body. Also, some juices are healthier than others. For example, pomegranate juice is much healthier than grape juice. Grape juice provides almost no benefits and can even be harmful. So it's worth looking into each fruit separately. And overall, I give fruit juices a rating of acceptable. By the way, write in the comments, and what is your favorite drink? Share, it will be interesting. And now, I highly recommend that you watch my other video. There, I talk about the most beneficial and the most harmful types of meat. You just got the link to the video on your screen. Be sure to check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, then put a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the video about different types of meat.